Welcome to the K.R Film's entertainment channel. In the beginning of the movie we are shown a rich and powerful businessman named Deep. He is fond of shooting guns and never miss a single shot while practicing on his field. His business partner Aditya comes to tell him that he has a very important meeting, but Deep ignores him. He forces him and says the client is very serious, but he again ignores him and goes to a young woman to teach her shooting. He touches her seductively. After this we are shown a young miniature artist named Bindu. She is trying to make a small heart. Suddenly the light goes out and she faces difficulty in her work. She comes near the window and starts working in moonlight when she is busy, and a worker neighbor Johnny watches her. He likes her since 2 years, but he doesn't express his feelings. Johnny finds that she is facing difficulties in her work, so he makes a light bulb using aluminium paper and a torch. After getting the full light beam to finally complete her work, she closes the window and goes to bed. Meanwhile, Deep organizes a big party in the celebration of the 3rd anniversary of his company. At the function, the client, who was not ready to sign the contract, suddenly comes to him and has agreed for the business. Aditya is shocked and confused as how he has signed the contract with them, but his confusion goes away when he finds that the client's wife is the woman whom Deep had taught her shooting. Now he realized that his friend gets the contract with the help of client's wife. Then they go to the bar and celebrates their success. As they talk about their past, we come to know that Deep's all wealth is his wife. He says he killed his wife and took over her company. The girl also runs an NGO for children's education. She and her friends decide to buy books for slumped children, but the NGO fund is low. Then one of her friends suggests her to meet with the deed because his company wants to support a non-profit organization. Bindu goes to his office for the funds. When Deep he gets attracted by her beauty and keeps staring at her. Bindu explains some about the charitable work of her NGO, but Deep is last in checking her body. When she ends her explanation, Deep gives her a check of 15 lakh rupees. Bindu gets surprised and happily thanks him for funding her NGL. Then she and her friends distribute books and study stuff to the children in their neighborhood. After the distribution, Deep asks Bindu to have lunch with him at an expensive restaurant. At the restaurant, Bindu gets a message from Johnny, who praises for looks. She turns her head and sees him watching her from the other side. She keeps looking at him and ignores Deep the whole time. Then Deep also notices her staring at someone else, which hurts and badly. After the lunch he decides to drive her home, but she stops at midway saying that she wants to buy some groceries. After she left the car, Deep follows her and sees that she is with Johnny, which makes him jealous because no girl has ever ignored him like that. Now he decides to separate them one day. Bindu has lots of work at the NGO and gets late for home. She is afraid to walk in darkness, or she sends a message to Johnny to pick her from the office. Johnny gets her message and immediately runs to her. They both walked her home in silence. When Bindu goes inside her home, Johnny is kidnapped by someone in a van. These kidnappers are sent by Deep to kill him. They take him to an abandoned place and beat him badly. Deep also comes there and torture him. Johnny finds that he kidnapped him for Bindu. Deep says that the girl is only made for him and anyone who tries to look at her will be killed by him. He rages at Johnny and beats him to death. Just then Bindu calls Johnny to tell him that she likes him, but now it's too late for her. When Deep left the place with his men, a strange blue light comes out from Johnny's body and transfer to Fly's eggs places nearby. In the morning, Johnny's body is found in the middle of the road and the police declares his death is an accident. When Bindu sees her boyfriend, she gets a big shock and broken from inside. After 10 days, the fly's egg that was hid by the strange light hatches and gives birth to a baby fly, but this fly is actually Johnny, who is rebirthed as a fly to take revenge on his killers. He is confused and tries to remember his past. He tries to fly, but his wings are not open yet and is almost drowned in the flowing water. When his wings finally opens, he flies into the air. Now he starts exploring his new life and is surprised by floating bubbles and kids around him. He starts playing with the bubbles, then he gets stuck on a cricket ball and lands on a half-eaten apple. A bird flies after him and tries to eat him, but he is survived and enters a house. Here he accidentally drowned in a watermark. He notices that the man who is holding the glass is Deep. When he sees him from near, he suddenly remembers his past life. He has angered and attacks him, but soon he realizes that he can't hit him as a fly. When Deep swats not, he flies to the ground. Then he remembers his girlfriend and flies to her house. When he sees her, he gets emotional and tries to get her attention, but now he is a small fly, so she doesn't notice him. She tells her sister-in-law that she misses Johnny and can't live without him. Johnny also hears this communication and decides to get her attention later. When Bindu is working in his office, Deep comes to meet her. He shows sympathy for her boyfriend and tries to touch her inappropriately. Suddenly Johnny also comes there and gets inside his ears to protect his girlfriend. In the following scene, So Deep gets inside a wooden box which is made for steam bath. When his limbs are bound, Johnny gets inside as your again makes him to move into a sharp towel handle. So Deep tries to kill the fly with his towel and comes outside naked in front of his business partners. Everyone is ashamed of him. Later he invites Bindu and his friends in his office and tells them that he is going to represent there, and at national level he requests Bindu to come with him at the function. In the night the fly starts annoying him again and doesn't let him sleep. He troubles in very bad that So Deep doesn't fall asleep even for a second. At last he covers himself with bed sheet and try to sleep. Bindu calls him and tells him that they are getting late for the flight. They only have half an hour to check in. He rushes to the airport and Johnny also follows him. At first he annoys the traffic police to destroy his movements another direction and creates a huge traffic jam. When So Deep changes his car, he attacks in his eye which causes an accident. When the Deep is trapped in the car, the fly comes over the windshield and writes, "I will kill you." After arriving his home, the doctor treats him, but So Deep is very scared of the fly and rages at him. He decides to have a fly killer in his hands. Everyone thinks he is out of his mind. Just then Bindu comes to meet him, which makes Johnny angry and he tries to attack So Deep, but Bindu sprays the fly which makes him unconscious and falls off the window when he is about to die. With the poison, the water sprinkler starts working and washes his body. Luckily he has saved by the water. So Deep visits an entomologist and asks him if a fly can take revenge. He tells him that he has delusion and need a psychiatrist, but So Deep doesn't believe him. He goes to the junkyard to find his accidental car. There he encounters with a mysterious man named Tundra. He warns him that all his money will be burned, but he ignores the man and starts licking his car. He finds the broken glass that says kill. Now he is assured that the fly was trying to kill him. The next morning Johnny finds Bindu is crying and missing him. Her tears fell on the table. The fly writes a message with her tears, says, "I'm Johnny reborn." Bindu was surprised when she reads it. She holds the fly in her hand and asks if he is really her boyfriend. The fly nods his head and confirms that he is Johnny who has been rebirthed as a fly. He tries to communicate with Bindu and points it's a Deep's picture in a newspaper saying he is the killer. Bindu gets shocked and doesn't believe his eyes. Then she decides to help her boyfriend to take revenge on his killer. She is a miniature artist. She makes tiny glasses and other stuff for the fly to protect him from insect killers. On other side, So Deep asks his bodyguards to find the fly, but no one finds it. When the fly enters the house, So Deep sprays on him, but it doesn't work because now he has protection. Then he tries others ways to kill him. His men uses fly swatters, but they fail to kill him. He puts a Deep's bedroom on fire and doesn't let him sleep. Then So Deep accidentally drinks flies by a drink and can't sleep all night. The fly realizes that he has to find a unique way to kill his killer. He decides to use a working cannon at So Deep's house. Bindu helps him to fill the cannon with a tiny bucket of gunpowder that he drops into the cannon. They continuously fill the cannon until it is not full, but unluckily a man puts a tissue paper into the cannon's mouth and destroys their plan. So Deep decides to cover his house with insect-proof glasses and scanners to stop the fly. When Johnny is unable to enter the house, his girlfriend goes into the house and makes a way for him. When So Deep sees Bindu, he tries to touch her, but the fly uses a sharp claws and scratches skin to blood. The next day, So Deep has a very important meeting with his business investors, but the fly also comes there to annoy him. He tries to catch him in the middle of the meeting. In catching the fly, he slaps the investors and breaks apart on one of them. The investors get angry and refuse to fund his company. Later, the income tax department is informed about So Deep black money which is hidden in his office. He starts breaking the vault using firefly, but the fly troubles him and burns all his money. Just then So Deep remembers the mysterious man Tundra who had warned him at the junkyard. He rushes to the place again and tries to look for him. He finds that the man is master on black magic. With his magic, So Deep finds out that the fly is Johnny who has been rebirthed as a fly. To take revenge on him, he performs black magic in So Deep's house and creates two evil birds to kill Johnny. The birds flies after him but fail to kill him. The glass doors are locked and the house is filled with smoke. So Deep and the man are trapped in the house. So Deep become unconscious due to lack of oxygen. Just then his friend comes there and saves him. When So Deep checks the CCTV footage, he finds that Bindu has helped the fly to enter the house. Now he knows everything and decides to use Bindu to kill her boyfriend once again. He takes her as hostage and calls for Johnny to come in front of him. The fly appears to save his girlfriend and So Deep tries to kill him with his feet but failed. During the fight, Bindu manages to run away from So Deep and hide herself. Fly picks up a needle and launches it towards a Deep size, but with the help of a magnet he finally traps him. He also finds his girlfriend hiding in a corner and makes her hostage. Once again he brutally cuts off one of his wings. Just then the fly notices that the tissue paper which was blocking the cannon has come out. Then he covers his whole body with gunpowder and dives into the loaded cannon with the help of a burning matchstick. He has burned in fire which causes his death. When he dives, a round shot comes out of cannon and hits a gas cylinder through so deep spot. He thus causes a big fire or explosion and burns the entire house. Luckily Bean to hide yourself during the explosion and survived, but so deep is killed. The next day we see Bean to going to her office and a man tries to tease her, but just then her boyfriend Johnny, who has again rebirth as a fly, comes there and attacks him. In the end the fly confirms his return to protect his girlfriend forever. Thanks for watching, and if you really like the movie hit the subscribe button to see more videos like this.